Hey, this is Cameron, and welcome to the practice log. I woke up really late. Right now it is 11:17. I don't know, maybe I need to catch up on sleep or something. But that being said, this is going to be kind of a weird one. So let's just see what we're going to do. Yeah, I'll see you in the chair. I just couldn't get myself out of bed. I don't know what to tell you. That usually doesn't happen. I did get out. I think I got out like 20 minutes ago. So my caffeine pill is coming into my system now. So, I mean, with all that, like, do I really feel like practicing? No. I don't really feel like watching a video either. So how about this? Remember when I talked about, like, I hate chord books and stuff, and I said that you should just build your chords? Maybe I can try to explain what I mean to you at the computer, and then if I feel up for it, which I'm sure I will after that, I'll put in a couple hour or two into the practice bench. So let's not waste any time. Let's just go right to the computer, and I'll talk to you there. We have ourselves a chord chart, and this is the thing that we saw in the Julian Bream video, actually, where we just place dots, and it tells us what it is. Like, what's that? I don't know. So let's just talk about what I mean by, like, build the chords yourself. Don't look them up in a book and find all the voicings. There aren't really that many different kind of chords that you can have. So the most basic kind of chord is a triad, and there's only 4 of those. Oh, and before we get into that, let's talk about the building blocks of triads. Covered this before in the Remedial Music Theory taught by a loser guitarist series, so you can always refresh on that. But there are 2 different kinds of thirds. There's a major third and a minor third. Major thirds, they sound like this. Minor, they sound like that. There's 2 ways to play each of them. Let's start with the minor third, because that one's smaller. So you play a note on guitar. We'll pick G, so this is the 6th string, G. Can either go up 3 frets like that, and then that is a minor third. That's how you'd start a minor sounding scale. Or you can go across to the string, go down 2 frets like that. Both of those will land you on a B flat, which is a minor third from G, because it's G, A flat, A, B flat. Boom. There we go. Minor third. Remember that. And here's what those sound like. So I'm playing G, and then minor third, and then this. And that is a minor third. That's a building block. We'll need that. Then the other one is a major third, where you just make it one further, bum bum, and then scoot that up one. That's a major third. So those are our shapes. Let's hear what those sound like. A little bit wider. So minor, major. Alright, let's start with triads, because those are the smallest chords that we have. And there are 4 of them. There are 4 different triads. We have the major triad. I'm going to represent that with an uppercase M. Minor triad, that's a lowercase m. Diminished triad, that's a circle. You following me? Then the augmented, that's a plus sign. I didn't just make that up. That's what they are. Here's how we make each of these. For major, we start with a major third, which I represent with a uppercase M again. I'm sorry. And then a minor third, which you can represent with a lowercase m, and you can even draw a line above it if you want to really tell who you're writing for, like, it's minor, stupid. Look at it. You can call a major triad a major triad. You can also call it a major minor, and that's a major triad. So let's try building a major minor. Let's start with G. Sound good? Okay. So we're going to do a major triad off of the root, and I should say the root, we call that the root, or the 1, whatever our first note is, G. Now the next note, because we just did a major third off of G, we call that the third. If we were to spell out a G major scale, it would be the 3rd note of the scale. And then, off of that major third, we now have a B. We're going to do a minor third, which we could do by doing that, going up 3 frets, bum bum bum. Or we can do that by going to the next string, down 2 frets to that note, that open string. Is that familiar so far? It's starting to look like an open G major chord. Which would make sense because it's a G major chord, so we would build it using this. Okay, now we do actually have to cover one more interval, the perfect 4th, because from the 5th note, so after that minor third, back to the root G, that's going to be a perfect 4th, which is just across the string like that. So D and then to G is next because it's a perfect 4th, and I'll actually circle those. Okay, when you're on the 3rd and 2nd string, everything is the same, but they're 1 closer together. So instead of a major third looking like that, you're going to scoot that note up 1. And what I had there before is actually now a minor third. So that's just how it works on only those 2 strings. I'm sorry. That's just how it has to be. So that being said, from G to the major third, major is next. That's just going to be a cross like that, B. And then from B, we have a minor third. We can't do it here, so let's go up 3 frets, which would bring us here. Of course, that'll get rid of that note, but it's okay. And then we're on D, so we already exhausted our minor third. We need to go back to the root. We're going to do a perfect 4th back. like that. And what do we end up with here? This is a G major chord. Look at that. Pretty cool, right? Just to cover everything one more time. We have minor thirds. They look like that. We have major thirds. They look like that. And then we have perfect fourths. They look like that. Another shape that you can just memorize is this one right here. The octave is there. Because you can also think of it as like off of the root, major third, minor third, and then octave. And then do the same thing. Major third, minor third. It looks like a major third, but that's because it's on 2 and 3. Our other octave shape is that right there. So if you remember those two, you just fill in the thirds inside of that. And I'll go ahead and fill in all these. A minor is just the opposite. Start with a minor and then go to a major. And then I'll go ahead and cover these. Diminished, minor, minor. 2 minors. Augmented is major, major. And that's all. That's all you get. There are only 4. There's no other possibilities here because we only have 2 thirds we can play with. Now let's spell a G minor chord. Remember, we're gonna go minor and then major. So let's see what that looks like. Well, we have G, a minor third from G, and then a major third from that. We end up in the same place, D. That's because 3 plus 4 always equals 7. A minor third, which is 3, plus a major third, 4, will be 7, no matter which way you add them up. It's always the same. And just to cover it again, we have our root, we have our third, we have our fifth. Then, from the fifth, you go perfect fourth, back to the root, the 1. Minor third from 1, well, we can't really do that because that's going to require that. So let's just see what a minor third looks like. We go up 3 frets. Alright, this chord is looking pretty terrible so far, huh? We'll see where we end up. We do a major third, which in this case is a cross, and then it's a perfect fourth, back to the root. So there's a reason why there's not an open G minor chord that's popular. It's because that's what it would be. Boom. What's an easier way to play that? Check this out. G. Alright, now we're going to think of our minor third. Instead of going here for the major third, let's go up 4 frets like that. That gets rid of that note. We have the root and the fifth, perfect fourth across. That's just the G octave again. Now from there, G minor third, major third, perfect fourth. Much nicer, right? Now, if you're learning from chord charts, you learn this one probably, but you never get to really appreciate the crappy one, right? Because you never even know it exists. It's just like a mystery back there. It's kind of a weird voicing because it's like 2 closed triads stacked on top of each other. This voicing makes a lot more sense because it's pretty common to have like root, fifth, root. That's like how pianos play in their left hand, and then the triad in the right hand. That in the bass. That up top. That's very piano-y. But there's a reason why that one's popular. And then the cool thing from there, we can keep this chord going. Let's take the root here. So this is just G. Let's go, instead of a minor third that way, let's go a minor third that way. And then from there it'd be a major third, and then a perfect fourth. And of course everything moves up when you go from third to second, so a perfect fourth is no longer that, it's that. So that's the root now, and then a minor third. What we just figured out is off of our G minor, we can play this up here. And you can go through. I ran out of frets. You get the idea. And yes, so I can do that because I've gone ahead and figured out all these. You'll find all the triads this way across the fretboard. And you can just keep going. Like, alright, so we have the minor third here. Let's go up a major third now. And then perfect fourth, and then minor third, and then major third. We have a whole other chord there. Go from that first one to this, and then to this. And if you want to just look at the triads, just look at the high 3 strings. And the cool thing with this seems like a lot of work. Like, geez, do I have to do this for every single minor chord? No, you just do this for one of them, and we already figured out all the triads just from doing that. And you can do the same thing for minor arpeggios as well. I mean, if we're looking at G minor, like let's play an arpeggio. So minor, major, that. So this is like a thing where you can play every single note in it. And then you can keep that there. Just remember that that's a position of the minor arpeggio. And then do the same thing here, where you have bum bum. We have root, and then minor, and then major, minor, major. And now that's a new first inversion minor arpeggio. You can figure them all out that way. We'll stop it there for now, but hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Like, you could get this from a chord book, but man, it's so much more valuable if you actually understand it and you do it yourself. And yes, like, you'll ask yourself, like, what if my notes are wrong? Like, how will I know, especially if I don't have an ear for it? That's what having a teacher is useful for, so they can tell you. I don't mean to, like, hawk my guitar lessons, but having a teacher makes this stuff a lot easier, because you can just be shown what to do. and you can do it supervised, and then you'll eventually feel comfortable doing on your own. Because you will. Like, it's not that hard. Like, it all makes sense. There's a logic to it. So you can get all the rules from a music theory textbook, like all the different triads, and then all I'm giving you here is just that's what a minor looks like, that's what a major looks like, that's what a perfect fourth looks like, and across the third to second, that's minor, that's major, that's perfect fourth. If you remember those, you'll be able to spell anything. And all the extended harmonies, like major 7, major 9, you're just keeping it going. So like major 7 would be major, minor, and then a major on top, and you would just do that. Well, actually, we won't even get into that. Maybe that'll be the next thing. But you can spell your triads, which are kind of the foundation building blocks. I always say everything's the foundation, though. Everything is the foundation to everything. Whatever topic, this is the foundation. It can't all be the foundation. But yeah, you get the idea. So hopefully that was helpful. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm gonna go try to practice now. We'll see how far we get. So I'll see you there. If I just like ended it here and just like didn't practice, would that be an outrage, or would that just be like okay, that's fine? He doesn't have to practice all the time. All right. Enough chit chat. I have to get to it. I'll see you on the other side. Oh my god. I'm wearing guitar socks though. I don't have to take them off. I'm gonna leave them on for this one. You guys got me. Don't get used to it though. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, I'm ready to call it quits. It sounds like a storm in here. Let me turn all the stuff off. I'm just gonna bring you closer. Hey, no performance mode today, sorry. So I'm just gonna play through the presto. I'm gonna get as far as I can, comfortably, and we're gonna call it a day after that. I'm gonna taint this whole lesson log with a crappy run through of the presto. Here we go. Keep going. I should stop. Yeah, that's the final page. Yeah, you get the idea. That sucked. That sucked! It's okay, we're working on it. I don't actually feel bad about that. Maybe a little bit, but it's okay. We've done enough talking for this one. Let's just go ahead and wrap this up, and yeah. I'll see you in the outro. Well, if you made it this far, you know, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, all that stuff. Hey, want some guitar lessons after that one? Probably not. But in the next one, when I play something better, you'll want some guitar lessons, and when you do, there will be info in the description. Okay, and of course, if you have a question about anything, like the last few logs where I've been talking about these chords, this all came from one question. If you ask me a question, and I might start running with it, because it's fun to talk about. It's a softball if you ask me about chords, because I like chords, I do. Chords and arps, and scaly whaleys, you know. Well, it's time for me to start my day. It's 1. It's 1 p.m. Truly the guitarist lifestyle. Alright, well, I'll see you tonight.